Okay, what about now?
Okay, can everybody hear me now? Okay. Okay, so let's try this again. We want to talk about your marketing plan briefly to kick this off. Again, in our first webinar together, Marketing Your Business in 2012, we really talked in depth about how you create an effective, well-rounded marketing plan. And again, let's just go over a few key elements of that in case anybody didn't see that webinar, and then that'll give us a good foundation to start. So what does a good marketing plan consist of? One of the first steps in creating that plan is, who are you? You've got to take a good, hard, long look in the mirror at yourself and at your business. You know, it may sound easy, and you may think you know yourself, but just one of the basic questions that you have to ask yourself is, what am I really selling? And is there a market need for the products and services that I'm going to be selling? And if the answer to that question is yes, you've got to realize that you can't be everything to everyone. In other words, maybe you have a product mix that is, you know, a little overwhelming to some of your consumers. Maybe you have too many products. Maybe you have too few products. So the first step is always take a good hard look at who you are. What's your strength and weakness, and what makes you different from the competition? What in your product makes it different from the competition? Second thing you need to do is you need to understand and learn who your customers are. Who are you really selling to? And again, that seems simple. I mean, you're going after as much business as possible to make as much profit as possible. But with that philosophy of trying to be everything to everyone and sell to as many as possible, you soon learn that you're casting a really big net. And that really big net that you're casting there means you have to have unlimited staff, unlimited inventory, unlimited marketing funds, and in reality, who has that? So you've got to learn to zero in and focus on certain customers, certain demographics. This focus will allow you to get maximum return from your ad dollars. And then one of the final things that we had talked about in your marketing plan is, once you figure out who you are, once you figure out who you really want to sell to, you got to figure out how to reach those people. And we talked about doing your homework and about learning how your customers get their news. Where do they shop? Where do they eat? What are they doing with respect to online and social media? Are they big into watching cable TV? And although you may think that you have a small business, or maybe you think you have a really large business, all those very same questions have to be answered, whether you're big, small, or someplace in between. And all the homework that you do helps you to determine where to spend those ad dollars, and it determines what we call your media mix. So what exactly is your media mix, and how do you get that message out there? And just on the screen I've listed, you know, the major ways of doing your advertising: your print advertising, your radio, TV advertising, your online advertising, because there's so many ways of getting the message out there. Then again, let's face it, if you have an unlimited budget, you can buy into everything. But most of us don't have that open checkbook, so we need to be smart. We need to pick our battles. So in addition to looking at your marketing message and saying, well, this aspect of my business sets me apart from the competition, take a look at where your competition is advertising. Because there's a strategy that you can use, and that is, if your competition dominates in print advertising, go after your market through radio, or go after online advertising. Do the opposite of where your competition is the dominant player. So with respect to print advertising, we had talked last time about the different avenues. And what I want to point out here is the third bullet point down: local publications, placemats, church bulletins, schools, and clubs. I can't stress this enough. Again, whether you're a big business, whether you're a small business, it is very important to look at this aspect of marketing. Now, some people will tell you this is called grassroots marketing. I simply call it smart marketing, because the most important part of your business are the customers. Your customers are the most important part of your business. So you never pass up an opportunity to tell them just that they are important to you. And you can do that not just by saying thank you in all your ads, but by supporting their local businesses, their local places, their local organizations, the organizations and clubs that matter most to them. If you support them by buying advertising in those pieces, it goes a long way with your customers. The other thing we talked about was radio and TV marketing. And, you know, for some smaller businesses, sometimes they think that's out of the reach and realm of their budget. You'd be surprised. Local radio spots, 15-second spots, are really popular and very affordable. One of the things that, a strategy that was employed by one of my old companies was they would do bookend spots. They would do a 15-second spot at the beginning of a block of advertising, and then a follow-up ad, a 15-second spot that closes out that advertising block in between the programming. And they bookend it like that and told a story in the beginning, started that story in that first 15-second spot, finished the story in the second 15-second spot. So just know that radio, TV marketing is actually very accessible if you take a look at a local level. And then we talked about some web marketing, and we talked about avenues where you could use advertising within your marketing plan on the web, your website, and the social media, email marketing, and online forums. And what I wanted to touch on here was in email marketing. You know, email marketing is gaining in popularity because it is inexpensive, but you have to keep in mind some of the things that we used to do in print actually do translate into email marketing. Now, one of the things in print that used to be told to people who would do advertising in newspapers is get your story, get your ad above the fold. And that's the same thing in email marketing. You need to keep the most important part of your message, of that email message, to the part of their screen where they don't have to scroll down to read. Never make the customer work for what you're trying to tell them. Make the information as accessible and easy to read as possible. So all that being said, this was our little backstory there on your marketing plan. Now you've got this great marketing plan put together. You've taken a look at yourself. You know where your strengths and weaknesses are. You know where your customers are shopping. You know how to hit that market. You have taken a look at your media mix, and you've put that all together. Now you're looking and you're saying, so I'm spending all this money. Why aren't my sales increasing? Why aren't my profits increasing? Or maybe they are. And for that very reason, you need to track and see what's working and what's not working. So you need to track your marketing plan. So we're going to go through this of, you know, you have to, and why you should track is to determine if you have the right media mix. You know, are your cable TV ads pulling more than your print ads? Are your online banners generating more leads than your direct mail campaign? Knowing this is going to help you smartly spend your marketing dollars. You can then take a hard look at, maybe I should throw some more money toward direct mail, or maybe my message is working better online. Tracking is going to help you smartly spend that marketing money, and it's only through tracking that you can determine if you have the right media mix. And all those avenues that were mentioned before, print advertising, online advertising, email marketing, all of that stuff has ways of being tracked, which we're going to walk through. One of the things that tracking does prove is if you're sending the right message, because you've created these catchy headlines and you've got pretty pictures in your ad, but do you really know if the customers are getting that message? Or are you in a spot, in a position where your image, the picture that you're showing, is dominating? And is it overshadowing the actual message of, hey, we're company X, and you can call us at 800 blah, 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 and buy product from us? It's funny, you can watch all these Super Bowl ads, but how many can you really remember what company put on that ad? So you have to make sure that your message is actually being effective and that your creative isn't outshining that quality message. The other things that you need to track for are quality leads. Now, quantity is not quality. And again, you're casting out this net. Maybe you're getting a ton of fish, but are the fish edible? Are you getting leads that actually translate into sales? I have a lot of people who tell me, well, we sent out this great email, and it had a really high open rate. In fact, we got some responses back immediately. And you know what those responses were? They were responses saying, who's tracking your marketing program? Or can we help you develop a marketing program? So those aren't the kind of leads you want to get. That's not the kind of feedback you want from your marketing. You want good quality sales leads that can be followed up on and immediately translate into sales. And the other reason why you should track, let's face it, it helps you determine a budget. And wouldn't it be great to take a hard look at your marketing program and learn that, oh, I could spend less dollars over here but make the same amount of profit? And that's what tracking helps. It helps you gain the right media mix. It determines the right message. It helps to get quality leads to turn into sales, and it helps spend and save your money at the same time. You're no longer blindly throwing marketing money out the window just trying to get some results. You actually have good quality data to base your decisions on. So one of the easiest ways to track your print marketing is through couponing. And couponing has been around for a long time, and you know why it has? Because it works. Couponing actually works on two levels. It's a proven marketing technique that actually benefits both you and the customers. And there again, we're looking for maximum benefit for your customers. And couponing is actually very simple to track. Couponing actually works very well for first-time purchasers. You know, if somebody is on the fence of should they try your company or not, more than likely you will have a high success rate by sending them a coupon, and they will try your company for the first time. Another reason why couponing really helps your business is it will entice your competitors' customers to try you out. If I have gone to a certain dry cleaner for years and years and years, but I get a coupon for a new dry cleaner, I have actually a tendency to take my dry cleaning to the new place because I need the discount. And in today's economy, couponing is really big and very successful for your competition's customers to woo them over to your side. Another great aspect of couponing, you're reactivating your old customers. Customers that maybe have used you and kind of dropped off for a while, their needs have changed, they don't need T-shirts printed by you this time. They've, you know, oh, well, we don't sponsor that baseball team anymore, so we don't need you to do our printing. Next thing you know, well, you know, we've got this coupon, and, hey, you know, there is actually, we could do this and sponsor a new team, and, oh, yeah, we could have the shirts printed with company X. Let's give them a try again. So your old customers are reactivated through couponing. The only thing I will caution you on is you have to be really careful when using couponing. And the reason I say that is you have to be selective and you have to use it sparingly. Because in our market here in Detroit, we have several different companies, and they're furniture companies, that run television advertising every Thursday and Friday, and they have a huge 50% off sale on furniture this weekend only. And then they run the same ad next weekend, and then they run the same ad the next weekend. And that creates two problems. Number one, the customer's starting to question their discounting. They're questioning, well, if their prices are that high, that means they have to discount. And then I question the quality. Well, if they can discount it this much, and if they can discount it all the time, are they being deceptive, and couldn't they just lower the prices? Is the quality of this furniture so bad that they always have to run a sale to get me to buy? So couponing is great. You just got to be careful in how you use it. You don't want to overuse couponing. So let's walk through how Coupon actually tracks a marketing program for you. Now what you're seeing now is an example of a local carpet cleaning company. And this ad could have been placed in a church bulletin. This ad could have been placed in the newspaper. It could be in a magazine. It could be in a local shopper magazine. But I want you to take a look at the information that's circled in red. And that's their coupon code. And it usually means nothing to the end consumer, but it really means a lot to the person, the company that is distributing this coupon. Because the BIT could actually stand for the name of the publication that it's in. Maybe there's a significance to a month and date. Those numbers could mean anything, but it could have been that it was run, you know, in November of, 2003. It could mean that it was run in November, the third day. I mean, those numbers probably mean something to Greg Bush's carpet cleaning. To you and I, they mean nothing. But this is an example of how couponing can be used to track. You place the same ad 4 different places, and you, by that code and changing that code, know when a customer calls you and says, oh yes, I saw your coupon, and you say, oh, what's the coupon code? You now know where that coupon came from. So again, you can change it up with the publications that you go in using different codes. Or what I like to do is if you vary your message, if you advertise in one church bulletin and you add that code in there and you use one message or one discount, maybe you save $5 at the one church bulletin. And then in the next one, maybe in a local magazine, you use a different coupon code and you change the offer to $10 off. And you see which coupon actually pulls more. So that's how you can determine via couponing. Tracking that will tell you, oh yeah, you know, I'm getting a lot more leads from putting this ad in the church bulletin than what I am versus putting it in the local shopper magazine. So that's a great way to take a quick look. It's easy to do of how to track that marketing through couponing. The next thing I want to talk to you about are QR codes, and I'm sure everybody has seen these, and I just want to go through what a QR code, what it actually is, where it came from, how you make one of these, and what it actually does for your business with respect to tracking your marketing program. So a QR code actually came to us from Japan, and in Japan they're very common. QR is actually short for quick response, and that means that they can just be read easily with a smartphone. They take information from any type of media. You know, you could have a QR code on a billboard. You could have a QR code on a magazine advertisement. You could have it on a web page. You could put a QR code on someone's T-shirt. And if it's done properly, your smartphone can actually pull that QR code. And what it does is it usually drives you to the web. So that's one of the great things about QR codes. It takes your print marketing, your offline marketing online. Because once it goes online, you have the ability to track it through an analytical program, which we're going to go into. QR codes can actually store text about products. It can store text about your company. It could store phone numbers. So when they download that QR code, it'll actually give your company's phone number. It can do hyperlinks. It can do emails. It can do calendar entries. There's a lot of things QR codes can do for you. It's just using them properly. They're great because they're versatile. You can put a QR code just about anywhere. The smallest it can be is 1 inch by 1 inch, but it can go large and go on an outdoor display. So it's very versatile. Again, you can put it on a T-shirt. Another good thing about QR codes, they're really cost effective. Because maybe you didn't know this, but you can generate a QR code for free. All QR codes are generated online. Google has a tool. There are several other websites out there that actually generate QR codes for you for free. So that's another great thing. They are very cost effective. And again, they get offline marketing online, making it easier to track. So how do these QR codes actually track the marketing? Here's an example of an ad with a QR code in it. And this is a national ad, and it shows you that little yellow section. You'll want to be careful, though, when using QR codes. I prefer to use them in black and white. You can see this one has a yellow field behind it. Anytime you add color, anytime you add, some people will add their logo within that QR code, you're creating a mix there, and you're creating potential for a smartphone to not be able to read the data that's actually in that code. So the subject matter experts here have actually done it in yellow. I would recommend starting it in just black and white. Get familiar with using the codes. Make sure they're working for your business before you start putting colors or graphics inside the QR codes. Actions triggered via the QR codes can be traced with web analytics or other marketing tools for campaign measurement. So again, that's what you're striving for. You're striving for that ability to track that ad. If you're going to use QR codes in your marketing campaign, it's important to be able to track the number of scans over time. Don't just take a short period of time. Give it a few months. Capture not only the scans from a demographic point of view, make sure you're getting it geographic and other information that you can connect and collect from those codes. It's most effective when done over several months' time. The other thing that's a new trend in our industry is loyalty programs and getting involved with your customers through a loyalty program, and that actually works really well for several different reasons. It works great for print marketing, it works great for online marketing, and it works great for tracking both. And the reason it does is because you get to interact with your customers. And again, that's the most important part of your marketing program, is interacting with your customers. The concept of customer loyalty works on a couple levels. Promoting it can really bring in as well as retain customers. It allows for open two-way communication. So you're talking to the customer gets to talk back and give you immediate feedback. And the best part about a loyalty program, it's great for learning. It's finding out what products really sell and what messages really work. The most important component by far is the customer engagement, the two-way communication between you and your customer. You should ask yourself before launching any type of advertising, how do I create a partnership with my customer? Successful retailers actually connect with their customers via the loyalty program at 3 levels. The first is an introduction. The customer receives some sort of generic reward for becoming a member of your loyalty program. Then the next step, the second level, is you contact the customer directly, either via email, offer rewards that's more tailored to what the customer wants. The two-way communication occurs at the 3rd level, and then the customer actually initiates some feedback, and it creates a loop, and you're talking to your customers, finding out what new products they want, what products really work for them, what products don't work for them. And then you're seeing what messages really hit home with them. They're actually going to tell you what they're looking for. That way you can market and track what the customer is really wanting from you as a company. So now you know how to gather this feedback from your marketing program, little tips and tricks of how to implement it in print, how to use couponing for print, how to use the QR codes for both print and online, and then how to do print and online and create some customer loyalty with a loyalty program. So how do you keep track of all the tracking? How do you take all these numbers and put it into a format that actually is going to make some sense to you, that's going to give you quality reporting? Well, you know, there's an old saying, it's called the KISS saying, and it's K-I-S-S, and it's keep it simple, stupid. And the most simple way to track any marketing program is to put it in Excel. And most of us already have access to Excel. You don't need the fancy program. You just start with Excel. You create a spreadsheet. You use tabs on that spreadsheet. Those tabs can actually denote where you have your advertising placed, and you can go in there into the Excel spreadsheet and say, yep, I got 1 lead from print marketing. I got 2 leads from my online website. I got 3 leads from the print piece that I created that went in the local shopper. So Excel is actually a great tool for just starting out tracking a marketing program. There's also Google Analytics, and there's also something called a CRM program. So we're going to take a little quick look at each, and you can decide what option works best for you, but it's not about how much money you spend. It's about what works for you and your company. Let's start with Google Analytics. And Google Analytics has gained a lot of popularity, and one of the reasons why is because it's free. And honestly, it is very easy to use. And as you can see, this is what Google Analytics is going to do for you. It's going to track your visitors from search engines for your online marketing. It's going to track for display advertising. If you go into a pay-per-click network, it's going to track that for you. It's going to track your email marketing. It's going to do tracking for your links within your PDF documents. Now, again, I have to go back to garbage in is garbage out. And the best part of Google Analytics is because it's so simple and because it puts it all on a dashboard for you, it kind of makes it almost error-proof. And it's hard to put to get the garbage out, because if you're really using the tool in the right way, you're putting the good information in. You're detailing out where you've placed your print advertising. You're detailing out what you've done with your radio advertising. And again, it's all going to come to you on a little dashboard online. It's all free. Great tracking through Google Analytics. The other item that you could do is you could actually purchase a CRM program. And CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. These are usually internet-based, which is good, because then if you have representatives throughout the United States, everybody can access their data from anywhere. If you travel a lot in your business, you can access your sales data, your marketing data anywhere. You know, you can sit at the local Starbucks and have a cup of coffee and access your CRM and get the latest and greatest information on your marketing program. It is high quality. There is an awful lot of efficiency to a CRM program. Again, garbage in, garbage out, though. But if the information is good when you put it in there, it becomes very efficient to track your campaigns. A CRM will allow you to build marketing campaigns within it. So that way it's kind of an automatic that direct mail goes out at a certain time and email will go out at a certain time. The best part of a CRM, in my opinion, is it lets you build a sales cycle. And sales and marketing go hand in hand. Marketing is, in my opinion, a support mechanism of sales. Sales cycles begin with the marketing process and should end with a closing marketing piece. So the sales cycle is very important. There are some companies out there whose sales cycle is a year. There's some companies out there whose sales cycle ends within a week. It just depends on what you're selling and the length of time that a customer takes to make this buying decision with you. And the other great feature of the CRM is in-depth reporting. The tracking and measuring the multi-channel campaigns, including the email, the search, the social media, the telephone, direct mail, all these metrics are monitored and are easily put together for you, again, much like Google Analytics in a dashboard type of program. I know I have gone through this quick, but I didn't want to hold you too long because of all the technical difficulties that we had. I know you're all busy. With that, I'm going to see if there are any questions and say thank you to you. We want to make sure that you register for the next webinar, the Ultimate Heat Printing Startup for $4,000 or less, which is February 21st. And it's actually sponsored by CAD Cut Direct, and you can get to that webinar through greatgarmentgraphics.com. Thank you so much.
Hi, Colleen. We did have a question, and Tim Maudlin, one of our attendees, would like to know if you see any advantages to using YouTube videos.
I do, Tim, and the reason being is anytime you can interact with the customer, it's a positive thing. I think if you can do a how-to video, that's the best way to approach it. Salt ID Direct actually has several YouTube videos out there. You know, those stay out there for, you know, infinite number of years. So there's no harm in having YouTube videos.
Okay, great. And I would also like to mention for any of our attendees that are attending today that plan on attending the Ultimate Heat Printing Startup next week, this is actually not going to be at 2 o'clock. It's a video on-demand presentation. We will, and you can tell all your friends or whoever else you think might be interested in starting a heat print up. We will post it on Great Garment Graphics as a blog post. The presentation will be embedded in there. And please, we would love to hear from you how you feel about our video on-demand presentation. So feel free to tweet us any of your questions with the hashtag Great Garment Graphics, or you can also leave them any questions as a comment in the blog. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great day.